Welcome back to Shades of San Diego. The San Diego Asian Film Festival features a documentary about a graffiti artist who's traveled all over the globe and has found himself in some hot water. I'd like to welcome the director of Dirty Hands, The Art and Crimes of David Cho, Harry Kim, to the show. Thank you so much for being here with us, Harry.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us who David Cho is, how you know him, and what intrigued you about him that made you make this film.
When I first met Dave, we were like 13, and they have these like Korean American camps, learn how to be more Korean.
Right.
And so we were out there, and everybody was just listening to this like smooth out on the ill chip beat, like R&B, rap stuff. And it was just me, Dave, his brother, and some other guy, and we were the only, I met him because his brother was just blasting Led Zeppelin on top of this mountain. He had long hair. He looked really, like a man on top of a mountaintop with a, boom blaster playing it. So I met him, and then we were all just kind of just immediately a bunch of outcasts who just hung out together. Mm-hmm. And but the guy had like a sense of style about it, anyways, Mm-hmm. And he had a trench coat back then. Anyway, so I've known him since then, and I decided I'd make like a 10-minute documentary about him about 8 years ago. I was going to film school.
About him as a graffiti artist?
Yeah, about him as just the graffiti artist aspect. Mm-hmm. So it was a very short 10-minute documentary. What's happened since then is this guy Johnny Granado shot a lot of stuff of Dave, who's been following him around up in San Jose. And I decided to make a 30-minute piece, and that kind of grew because he ended up going to jail, and then that just opened up a whole past of this guy. And so I decided I'd have to explain what's going on. Exactly. I just interviewed everybody, and it ended up with an 8-year documentary.
Well, just to give you guys out there an idea of who David is, here's a clip from Harry's film, Dirty Hands.
I wasn't gangster. I didn't want to gangbang and this and that. I just like the art aspect of it. I'd be like writing Bible verses on the wall, like some your mama jokes on the wall, like I wasn't out there like, Chaka writing my name over and over again because I wanted to be known for writing my name, or I'm up this many times or this big. I just wanted to destroy shit. I just wanted to like make it funny.
So because he ends up knocking a security guard out while he's in Tokyo, mm-hmm. he ends up in prison for 3 months, right? How did that change him and change your film in the end?
Well, I mean, it was a very life-changing experience. I mean, 3 months, people have gone for longer, but the thing is, he was in solitary for a lot of that time, and, a big part of the torture is not knowing what's going to happen when they're not telling you, like, oh, you've got this sentence. It's, you don't know for, a whole 30 days or so. And when he came out, he was just Jesus, I love Jesus, hallelujah.
He even carved a cross on his chest and on his arms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Jesus and the 2 thieves that were next to him, so he wouldn't steal anymore. So he did that, and I'm like, well, this will just make no sense if I'm saying this is an artist and boom, he's a Christian, So, I was like, well, I have to explain what happened here,
Exactly.
And, for better or worse, I mean, see how you see it, he's lost that fervor for, Jesus mania, but, he's kind of gone back a lot back to his old ways.
Tell me about some of the adventures that you had with David while shooting this film.
Oh boy.
Some crazy times, huh?
Yeah, I never thought I'd be traveling to the Congo or, hitchhiking across the U.S. in 2 different ways, west to east and south to north. All the way up to Alaska. But what
happened in the Congo?
I ended up getting married. Dave ended up spray painting the whole place. And the chief's wife, this very corrupt chief of the village, his wife was like threatening to cut off one of our guides' arms off with a machete. It was a fun time, really.
Well, I'm glad you made it back alive to tell us about the film.
I didn't bring anything with me, so that's good too.
I can't wait to see it on the big screen. Thank you so much for being with us, Harry.
Thank you, Jessica.
Coming up, I talk with one of the stars of a film that grapples with an unexpected love between 2 women in South Africa during the 1950s. Stay with us. Welcome back. Our next guest stars in a narrative film that'll be featured in the San Diego Asian Film Festival about apartheid in South Africa, breaking tradition and a romantic connection between two women. I'd like to welcome one of the stars of The World Unseen, Sheetal Sheth. Thank you for being here with us, Sheetal.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about The World Unseen in your own words and what drew you to want to be involved in the film.
I just think it's a beautiful story in itself, universal in love and relationships and the times. But to kind of put it a little kind of spin on it, it's just about two women who fall in love with the backdrop of 50s apartheid South Africa and everything that kind of comes with that. And they're both just trying to find their own way and their own voice and find it, I think, stronger when they meet each other.
Right, now here's a clip from the film that portrays the discrimination during apartheid.
Boss Cooks,
You know they have bosses.
I want to see them. Now. This is only a travel permit.
Yes, sir.
Where's your boss?
But I don't have a pass, sir. I'm colored, not black.
He looks like a Kaffir to me.
Her father was Dutch. Like mine.
You understand, Jacob? I'm not trying to be difficult.
What are you talking to these people for? You keep serving blacks, and we'll kill the lot of them. Then you'll need to find new staff.
We won't need any at this rate. You're not exactly good for business.
Did you know much about apartheid and the issues back then? I mean, how was it to play a character and be kind of consumed in that period?
Well, you know, I knew a little bit about it as I did my research, and I read a lot. And for me, playing a character like Amina, it was really important that I not only knew about it, but I felt it and felt everything that those people at that time were going through, because I think for her especially, it's physically sickening for her. And so really it kind of clicked when I went to South Africa and we were shooting, and I spent some time there and just talking to everyone and hearing their stories and everyday things that happened and still happens. And the fact that I was an adult at the time that it was still happening really unnerved me, and it gave me everything I needed to feed into what she was feeling.
Right, right. What was your most valuable experience in making the film?
I would have to say, really, it's just meeting the people down there. I mean, it's a real gift to be able to go and live in a community for a period of time and not just kind of go on vacation and get to know the life and what they deal with and their stories and their families. And, you know, it's nice to know that those people are there kind of rooting for all of us, and we're all there doing the same thing and trying to tell a story that can kind of mean something for everyone.
How long were you in South Africa for?
A little over 2 months.
So you really got to know the area.
I mean, I wish
and
I could have been there longer, but it really, you get to feel like you know the heart of it while you're down there and you're shooting something like this, which is really a work of passion, because you do a small movie and everyone really has to do it for the right reasons.
Right.
And you really want to tell this story right and with some honesty.
What do you hope the audience gets out of this film?
I think really when you see it, there's something for everyone, and you can relate to any character, whichever it may be. And if it just kind of gives you some perspective on living the truest life that you can, that would be something, because I think it's just finding the authenticity of who you are.
Right. Now, as an Asian American actress, being in this industry, do you feel like Asian Americans have made their mark yet, or do you still feel like there's a long way to go?
I think it's funny because I think even talking about it, saying I'm an Asian American actress, is the problem. And I think that
being pegged as that.
I think just people even saying that, even for us, and I know we have to talk about it, but it would be nice if it was just I was an actress working, and that when you see parts written, that they're just written for the best person. Now I get that that's idealistic, but at the end of the day, when I read a script and I see something and they're talking about an all-American girl, I think I can play that. And most people don't, because they have an idea of what all-American is. And so you have to kind of fight for it and say, well, listen, America is all of us and all of these colors and parts and diversity and so forth. And I think that if we can just get past even the words that we all use, even in talking about it, and just start kind of moving forward from it, I think it'll get better. But it's getting better every day. It's just we've got a long way to go.
Right. Thank you so much for being here with us, Sheetal, and sharing with us. Excited to see the film.
I'm excited for everyone to watch it.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
After the break, a documentary that highlights the earliest known feature film made by a Chinese American.